Now this is for the kiddies who like to ride the train, whether in California or even up in Maine.
Makes no difference if you're 2 or 102.
Riding the horse in the buggy's not like the old choo-choo. By the station early in the morning, see the little puffer bellies all in a row.
Hey everyone, Turtles here. So this is my first time playing Minecraft, having a lot of fun so far, and one of the biggest projects, first big projects that I wanted to do was to build a big railway network, sort of connecting all my different suburbs, as you will. So I saw a bunch of other designs out there that other people have used over the years. In my mind, at least, these come with a lot of limitations, and there's a lot of downsides to all of them. So I came up with my own solution, which I think is pretty innovative. Seems to overcome a lot of those limitations of the other systems. So I figured I'd share it with you in case anyone else wants to copy or see it, how I do it. So I'll be breaking this video down into a few sections. First, we'll go over the sort of the principle, the underlying principle of how it works. And then we'll go on a little train trip. We'll go over the original railway junction that I designed, version 1, which is pretty easy to understand, pretty simple. And then we'll go over the railway junction version 2, which I think is a little bit more complicated, but it looks cooler. So I think in my own world I'll be going with version 2. Alright, let's go out and I'll show you how it works. So I've called it the ticket borrowing design. What we see in front of us here is kind of a stripped down version of what's in each junction. Each hopper here has 23 items in it, which outputs a signal strength of 2, which turns these lights off, which means that all of these lamps are unpowered. And so in each of these hoppers is a destination. This one has A, you can have multiple destinations in there. And the ticket is in the minecart, so B corresponds with this hopper here, which in turn will change the network, the railway network, to send us towards our destination. So you see when it goes underneath the hopper, it pulls it out of the hopper, puts it back in the hopper again. So this still has B in there. Our minecart still has B in there. So nothing gets lost whenever we go through a junction. So that's the simplest junction. If you want to do that, that's fine, but it means that the railway stations get pretty complex if you want to do that. So a good alternative I found was using instead a hopper minecart as the ticket cart. So this has A in it. These barrels have 124 items. You can have as many tickets in here as you want. If you even need more than 27 destinations, you could even extend it beyond that. And so that has enough output signal to disable this hopper. Same with disabling that hopper. And this one corresponds with destination A. So if we send the hopper minecart under there, we see it takes it out of the barrel, so it's borrowed it, and puts it back in again. And we use that change in redstone signal to determine where we go. So I'll just take us on a little minecart journey. We'll go over a few junctions, and then at the end of the video I'll quickly dismantle one of these train stations so I can show you how I'll put that together as well. Alright, off we go. So let's just say we've got a bunch of valuables we want to take to our destination. Select the destination here. Here are the minecarts. Emeralds, that one's diamonds, that one's amethysts. I'll click here for a minecart to travel in. And go. Up ahead of us, you see that minecart, that one has our destination, the one we selected from when we were on the station. And we're being followed by a baggage cart of our chests with our valuables in it. Here's the inside of the version 1 of the junctions. As I said, I'll go over version 2 later, which I think is much better, but probably easy to understand version 1. So let's just take a quick look at what happened there. Okay, I've stopped it there to slow it down, and I'll show you how version 1 works. So I've broken the rail network by putting a block in each of the 4 directions. So I'll demonstrate by no matter what direction the minecart comes from, it always ends up going down this hole here. And it'll go underground and it'll pop up from this hole here. So let me demonstrate with this cart. Over the bridge, down the first hole. And up the second one. Let's see that again from a different direction. Again, over the bridge, down there, up from there, and by default it always goes in that direction. So if you want it to change directions, you'll see that we need to change one of these intersections on the gold blocks. So since there's 4 directions, we have 3 golden blocks to determine a choice of which direction we go, and if it's not any of those 3, it'll just by default be the 4th one. So each of those gold blocks underneath is powered by a torch. Let me just reset this one. Okay, so as we see, all 3 torches are off now, and it's in its default state where it will head down that direction. So you've seen the first bit before with the barrels and hoppers. So each barrel has just enough items to power this redstone here, which in turn disables the hopper, as well as there's a torch here as well, which is depowered by that redstone. So for instance, if an item is borrowed out of this last barrel, you see that redstone torch goes on, and then the ticket goes back in the hopper, which in turn goes into the barrel and turns the redstone torch off. And then what we have is a circuit to store that result. So I've built another little version down here. So if we power this on, you see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items sort of are creating a stable on circuit. So the repeater is powering the block is powering the redstone is powering the repeater, and it all stays on until we break the circuit. So again, you send a signal on and it will stay on by itself. So that's basically what happens whenever an item is taken out of one of these barrels. It turns on one of these circuits like this one here, which then in turn powers that redstone, depowers that redstone, which enables that redstone to turn on, which powers the gold block, which in turn powers this rail. So you can see it's sending any rail carts down in that direction. So if we put a rail cart here, send it along, that last one we took something out of the last barrel, so it gets sent out in this direction. Pretty simple to understand so far. What happens though, we need a way to reset it on each time. So I've got it with a reset switch here. So once a cart goes on to this, I forget what it's called, that section of the rail, you see in turn that line of honey blocks depowers all 3 circuits. And there's a little timing circuit here as well. So it means if we put multiple carts on it, it won't reset each time. So we'll look the first time, see the honey blocks and the piston over there, put this on, the piston gets piston powers off and then on again, so it resets all of these circuits. But if we do that multiple times, it'll only reset the circuits once. So as many carts can go over this as we want. It's not going to reset the circuit until this timing circuit dies, and then the next one will again reset those circuits. So that's how we can get a whole baggage train of different carts running over it. That's pretty simple. Seeing as the player goes down here as well, I've just got a tripwire circuit here, so if the player comes down here, they get sent in this direction. Whereas if it's a cart that doesn't have a player or a llama or whatever it is in it, it'll continue to go along this direction underneath these hoppers. So let's just go over that one more time. And to demonstrate that we don't actually need renamed paper, I'm just going to use any other item. So I'll use a cobblestone, for example. So effectively this hopper barrel combo results in any destination towards home or one that's cobblestone. So you could use regular items to represent destinations as well. So here we'll put one cobblestone, and we need anything else. Let's just say sand, sandstone, whatever. Alright, so it's going over the bridge. There's the reset, borrows an item out of that barrel, puts it back in again. That torch is set, and it goes, that corresponds to this golden block, and it sent it towards us. Oh, there it goes again. Actually, that's good. Let's just watch that from the start. So it's got the cobblestone in it, goes that way, resets the circuit, borrows the cobblestone, puts the cobblestone back, gets sent this way, and it's still got the original cobblestone in there. And this barrel still has the exact same configuration as it was before. And that's how version 1 of the junction works. Now we're just going to continue on this train trip, going up this mountain here. I'm speeding up this part of the video, going over a long sky bridge here, and we're just about to find out why this leg of the journey is one way. Just to demonstrate that this method allows for loops, one-way paths, things like that. So here's our destination. We saw all of the other carts come through as well, but let's just check the contents. So this one's got our crystals, this one's got the emeralds, and the last one's still got the diamonds in it. So you can see they all arrived at our destination. We're just going to select the next one in our journey, and then I'll speed up the rest of the video till when we get to version 2. So we're just coming up on another version 1. See, we drop down this location, reset all of the switches. This one's only a T-junction, so it's only got 2 options. 2 gold blocks, and we took the default third path. There's all of the minecarts following us. There's the ticket one. We're just coming up on the same 4-way junction that we showed before. So there was the reset. Again, we're not selecting any tickets, we're going through the default route. And I'll speed it up till when we get to version 2. So we're coming up on version 2 here. This one's a T-junction, I'm going to slow it way down. Watch the cart that has the ticket in it, goes underground, pops up, and then we follow in its path. So that was a much quicker and sits much more flat against the ground than version 1. And the carts are following us, so let's just break it down and I'll show how it works. Okay, let's just go through how this T-junction works. So by T-junction it means it looks like the letter T. There's 3 paths branching out. So if we assume that we never want to go backwards again, so if we come in from this left branch, we don't want to go backwards, which makes it a binary choice of whether we go straight ahead or turn right, which means that this all can be controlled by one single junction. You see in the middle here of the T. So on each branch we see the familiar barrel and hopper. There's just enough items in this barrel to block the hopper, and in turn that turns on and off that redstone torch there. I'm just going to reset this circuit here. So default is that this junction connects to the right path. So you see if there's a minecart on here, it'll by default go down that way. But underneath this block here is a redstone torch, and that can be depowered by this circuit here. So you see this redstone repeater, that's in a loop. It's a stable circuit, it'll turn on, and when this circuit below is on, that turns that torch off, which in turn connects this junction to the left side path. So now if we have something on here, it'll connect that way. And then there's the reset circuits in each junction, in each branch as well. So once we keep an eye on this circuit here if we can, so keep an eye on this junction I mean, so at the moment it's connected to the left path. When something goes over this detector rail, it'll switch to the right path. So that is just a redstone circuit that connects down to this target block, powering this piston, which breaks the circuit. And each path in this junction has a similar redstone detector connected to that piston. So let's take it from the top. That is reset. Great. So at the moment the path is connected to the right junction. Let's just put cobblestone in there. Again, I'm using paper renamed to destinations, but just for the sake of this demo, I'll put a cobblestone in. That has a cobblestone in it. I found it useful to label what happens when something is taken out of this junction as well. So if something gets taken out of this hopper, this barrel, sorry, it'll go straight. Although at the moment it's in the default state, so it's going right instead of straight. So I'm going to slow down this bit so we can watch it while it happens. Now this is going to go very fast, so feel free to pause the video. Okay, reset, borrow, returns, and then it follows the left junction. That went pretty quick, so feel free to pause the video and re-watch that section a few times. I just thought now I would run this a couple of different times so we can demonstrate it in operation. So remembering that this barrel has witch farm and cobblestones which go straight ahead, so they follow the left path as we're looking at it here. So we'll go witch farm, we'll go left, nether portal should go right, cobblestone, trial chamber, go right again, and last one we'll do another cobblestone, so it'll take the left path. And to demo it with the baggage trains at the end, let's see. So we'll go left path. You should all go on the left path. Trial chamber, so these ones will go to the right path. That should explain how the T-junction works. Now we're just going to continue along our minecart journey. In front of us we've got the ticket, behind us we've got the carts. We're just coming up on the four-way here, and we're going to slow right down so we can see it in slow motion. The ticket cart's gone underground, pops up, and then we follow it, and carts with chests on them may follow us as well. Now that we've gone through the four-way junction, I'm just going to take it apart a little bit to demonstrate how at least one of these branches works. Just wanted to take a moment to appreciate the pretty decorations, because we're about to rip it up. So I've stripped away some of the decorations, and now we're looking at the middle of this four-way junction. So we've got a redstone torch in the center, and that branches out in 4 different directions to these 4 different railway little mini T-junctions. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So say we're coming in from this direction here, assuming we don't want to head backwards, so that gives us 3 options: left, straight, and right. So we represent this with 2 of our sort of barrel and hopper systems that we borrow tickets out of. The ticket cart will go down this section here, hit that plate there, which will do the reset, and then it goes along here, goes underneath these 2 barrels, and then comes out. So this barrel here is for left, this barrel here is for straight, and if it doesn't take any items out of either, it goes the default route, which is, we see at the moment, to go right. So if I put a cart on here, it should go right. So that's the default, which means that we still have circuitry for two different options. So one of them will flick this red torch on. So if we look at the moment, it is depowered by this one underneath it. So the one underneath is preventing that one from turning on. And this is attached to a simple loop circuit with a repeater in it. So I believe it's this one. So for instance, if I take an item out of this, that turns this little loop circuit on, which will in turn depower that redstone torch and let this redstone torch turn on, powering all 4 junctions. So that was for straight. So now again we stick a cart in here through the system. You'll see it heads straight, so going that direction. The reset for this one is this piston down here. So if we stick something on the reset plate, that piston went on, that disconnected that circuit beneath there, and in turn turns this redstone torch off, and we're back to the default state. For the other option, you'll see going around this little mini roundabout in the middle, there's a circle of redstone. Let me activate that circuit. So now you see around the roundabout in the middle, there is a circle of redstone which is on, and that's used to power 2 repeaters. So we're sort of isolating these 2 redstone dusts, that one there and that one there, while leaving that one off and that one off. So now anything on the tracks will take the left path. And again, this one has a reset piston here, which is just cutting off that circuit. So if I put something on the reset, that turns that piston on, cutting the circuit. That way we can achieve a 4-directional junction. I'm not going to take the entire thing apart because it's kind of a nightmare to put together. If you want to do it yourself, good luck. But I'm going to keep this as it is for now, just so I can use it for my own references. But basically, well, I'll go through. We've got the timing circuit here again, so that when the first cart goes over, all of the following carts take the different path. And again, they go over that one, which keeps the timing circuit active. There we go. Each reset button is connected to both that piston and the piston that's underneath there, with a web of redstone dust sort of running underneath, connecting everything up, which I won't go through the entire thing, but you should by now be able to get the principle of things. Now that we've taken apart one of these paths, it's effectively the same on all of the other paths as well. Alright, let's go back to the journey, and after that we'll take apart one of the stations just very quickly. Now that the journey's over, I promised I would take apart one of these rail stations just to show how it works. So I've seen other tutorials on how to build train stations. This one's nothing particularly special. The only difference is down here, this circuit, which puts shovels in the hopper cart before they get sent out. So you'll see when I've selected destinations, there's a board there with destinations in it. And that will dispense a ticket. So each of those buttons corresponds to one of these droppers. So let's just say I press the dropper for Nether Portal. So I'll take one of these tickets and it would spit that out and go into the water stream onto the pressure plate, where it then gets picked up by the minecart, which goes underneath it and goes down here. So you see it's got the nether portal and these wooden shovels. So I'm just going to demonstrate how that works a bit slower. So that pressure plate is connected to this redstone circuit, which is connected to this dispenser. So it will spit out minecarts with hoppers on them. They'll go through this, under this chest filled with shovels. They'll pick up the shovels and then they'll head back out to the front there, where they await for someone to start the journey. So I'll just show how that part of it works. So rather than having a ticket go on to the pressure plate, I'll just push this button to show. Goes under there and out front. And that small amount of time that's spent underneath the wooden chest is enough for it to pick up shovels. And each time the train arrives at the station, the first minecart with a hopper on it goes underneath here. So the first one goes underneath and it will start a timing circuit which raises that, and the rest of the minecarts will go into the station. The first one, however, goes underneath there and comes this way, goes this way over here. It's got a hopper here which will pick up the ticket and a bunch of other junk in this case, but this will collect the first item in the minecart with hopper, which will be the ticket. So all of the tickets end up in this chest. And then it will continue along this path here, going through this spider web, which will slow it down. and this hopper here will pick up any of the shovels that are in it and dispense the shovels into this chest. And just so that there's a backup of shovels in that chest, I've got a little circuit here with a crafter with oak planks and sticks in it, and just a small circuit there. We're using comparators so that if this chest starts running low on shovels, the crafter will start putting shovels in it. So if I take a shovel out of here, you'll see it gets replaced.
Start chucking shovels out, and as you see, it's filling them back up again.
That's from the crafter. So again, let's push this button, see it come out of there, go under there, and over there to await someone pushing the go button, which is this here. My concept behind this station was I thought it'd be really cool to have like the ground open up, so you can walk around in it like this, and then when you're ready to go, the ground sort of opens up and the carts will go underneath there. It's a bit of a pain in the ass doing all this circuitry though, so I kind of don't recommend doing it this way. It might look okay-ish, but yeah, it's more trouble than it's worth. And that's it for the ticket borrowing railway system. Thank you for your time. If you decide to build a railway network and you decide to copy my design or are inspired by my design, please reach out to me. That'd be awesome to see your individual takes on it. Just be aware that railways sort of operate slightly differently depending on if you're facing north, south, east or west. So you have to make slight modifications to each branch. But basically, hopefully this video is enough to cover the basics and show you how to do it. Alright, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for your time. See you all later.
Now this is for the kiddies who like to ride the train, whether in California or even up in Maine.
Makes no difference if you're 2 or 102.
Riding the horse and the buggy's not like the old choo-choo.